I'm suffering from a character crisis. I want to give every character a chance at becoming my main. This time, I got to train up with Wii Fit, who showed me that they are the most flexible character in the game. Obviously, they do a lot of yoga, but I mean it figuratively. Smash has over 80 characters, and with all their different strengths and weaknesses, it leads to each fighter having their own specific playstyle. But with Wii Fit, I had no idea what to expect. Nobody thought Nintendo would announce that your virtual coach from the game with the plastic balance board that shames you would be added to Super Smash Bros. And when Wii Fit Trainer was added to Smash 4, the announcement wasn't met with excitement, more so confusion from the fan base. And with a moveset inspired by literal yoga poses, how was Sakurai supposed to create a functional fighting game character? And then the game released, and it turned out that Wii Fit wasn't really all that functional. Smash Bros. Is a game where the character models matter a lot, and Wii Fit's moves are unfortunately very accurate to the yoga poses, and their specials are all over the place. Sun Salutation and Header encourage you to zone your opponent from far away, but Deep Breathing tells you to run in and hit your opponent with the awkward moves. Wii Fit Trainer was ranked as the 50th worst character out of 54, and a large reason for that was not a lot of people played the character. With such an unconventional design, a lot of players just didn't want to take the time to learn them, and the few that did had to resort to camping the ledge because that was the one thing Wii Fit Trainer was good at. It turns out basing your character off of yoga poses doesn't translate very well to Smash Bros. However, Wii Fit Trainer must have been hitting the weights in between Smash titles, because they got so many buffs going into Smash Ultimate. Practically everything about Wii Fit Trainer was made better. Their moves hit harder, stayed out longer, or sent at nastier angles. Some moves, like forward air, were even given extra hitboxes so that they'd cover more parts of the character. And the specials got some much needed love as well. Sun Salutation's charge could now be cancelled by jumping or spot dodging, giving you a lot more mix-ups. Side B had a much bigger soccer ball, and way more angles you could send it flying at your opponent. And Deep Breathing may just be one of the most buffed moves in Smash history. In Smash 4, Wii Fit's down special only did 3 things for the character. You deal 20% more damage, you take 10% less in return, and your walk speed, but not your dash speed, becomes better. With Smash Ultimate, however, it lasts 2.5 seconds longer, you deal 25% more damage, and are significantly faster on the ground and air. With the enhanced gravity, you become much harder to kill, and with Smash Ultimate's 1v1 multiplier, you're actually dealing 50% more damage. Wii Fit's training paid off, and they became a much more terrifying character to go up against. However, even with almost everything getting buffed, they were still ranked as the 50th character, but this time out of 86, which I guess shows improvement. Wii Fit Trainer has been a mid-tier since release, and their position has barely shifted. Even though every move was better, the way they worked together as a whole was still very unintuitive to a lot of people. However, my patrons have asked me to see if this is the right character for me, and even though Wii Fit Trainer may be at their peak fitness, I wasn't feeling very good when I started maining them.
I don't feel good, chat. I don't feel good, but it's okay. The stream must go on, and the character crisis must continue.
Despite how I was feeling, I still had to main my new character. But what do I even do with Wii Fit Trainer? Their moves are just unlike anything else I've seen before. When I use a forward air on any other character, I can reliably expect it to cover the space in front of me.
Oh my god, Wii Fit moves are so weird.
This is very important for walling my opponent out and learning what their habits are. But Wii Fit has committed to holding that 45-degree angle, and for some strange reason, the best part of forward air is the foot they stick out behind them. Like what? Whose bright idea was this? Up tilt also just doesn't make sense to me. Other up tilts cover a sweeping arc around the character, but she just sticks her arm up? What is this used for? Nair seems like it could be really good, but my opponents kept falling out of it. At the end of day 1, I knew I still had a lot of work left to do.
No! Oh, the soccer ball killed me, no!
If I wanted to better understand this character, I needed to learn how their moves function. But I wasn't going to just settle for learning the frame data. I was going to do some yoga.
Did I hit the pose? I can't even tell. I'm so focused on doing it.
And while we're taking a break to do some yoga, I'd like to introduce the sponsor of today's video, 4XP Gaming Drink. Caffeine is something I love to drink, and when it comes to tournaments, that extra boost of energy can go a long way. But by the time I get to my local and start playing games, it's already kind of late, and most gaming drinks come packed with way too much caffeine. 4XP is an alternative that only has 45 milligrams of caffeine, which is much closer to a can of soda, but with half the sugar and no high fructose corn syrup. 4XP is designed to boost your alertness, but without the shakes, crashes, or late night regret. If you'd like to try out the product for yourself, you can use code TUESDAY to save 20% on your order. Now back to the video. While doing this yoga, I learned a lot about how the character works in Smash. Wii Fit has the only jab in the game that hits both in front and behind them. And even though the model doesn't show it, there's actually an extra hitbox in the front that you can use to jab lock people. The arm on up tilt stays out for a while, and is actually intangible, which makes it a great move for anti-airing enemy attacks. Speaking of intangibility, up smash gives you full body invincibility right when you start up the move. And fun fact, you can even extend the invincibility by hitting something else first, such as your soccer ball. Nair was another move that made much more sense to me after I looked at the hitboxes.
So you have, it doesn't start in the middle?
Because the hitboxes start on the edge of the move, it actually lets you do things like combo into up smash that kills ridiculously early with deep breathing. I then followed up this yoga session by watching sets of some of the best Wii Fit players out there. And this is when I learned just how flexible Wii Fit can be. John Numbers is one of the oldest Wii Fit mains out there, playing all the way back in Smash 4, and he loves to camp. Header at the ledge is difficult for many characters to interact with, and Wii Fit is one of very few characters who can heal themselves, which is something John Numbers has literally used to win sets.
Oh no, he can heal it! He can heal!
Varun is another Wii Fit trainer, and the one with the highest major placing, getting 7th at Crown the Second, a tournament with over 400 people in attendance. What makes Varun such a good player is how effortless he makes it look to use Wii Fit's attacks. What feels awkward and stubby to me is just another part of the toolkit, and when Varun gets deep breathing, he takes full advantage of it. Xavier is a rising star among Wii Fit mains, and is known for their flashy combos and aggressive playstyle. But what makes Xavier stand out from the rest is their control of the soccer ball. When I first started playing Wii Fit, Header was simply another projectile that you throw at your opponent. But Xavier has mastered this move, and makes it seem like it has a mind of its own, relentlessly chasing down the opponent every time he throws it out. However, I didn't learn these things about Xavier just from watching his VODs. Xavier was willing to go the extra mile, and actually gave me a coaching session about Wii Fit Trainer.
Okay, so
Because
you
just like charging... Yeah, because I shielded because you had Sun there, and then you were able to get a grab, and, well, I might just get 0 death. Yep. And I got to learn firsthand just how good they are with the soccer ball. Trust me, guys, they're really good. I was getting bodied the entire time. But while Xavier was hitting me like I was Scott Sterling, they were also teaching me a lot about the character. Before maining Wii Fit, I thought it was important to have deep breathing active at all times. The buffs you get are so powerful that it made sense to me to just always be looking for an opportunity to get it. Xavier instead helped me realize how to play the character without it. Wii Fit is a floaty character without deep breathing, and because they fall much slower, they can actually throw out 2 aerials in a short hop. Another thing Xavier taught me was how important it is to have a game plan. For Xavier, that game plan revolves around charging moves behind a platform and seeing how the opponent reacts to it. If they run in and get grabbed, it'll lead to huge combos that Xavier has spent a lot of time labbing out. If they decide to stay far away and time out deep breathing, that just lets Xavier pester them from across the stage with a plethora of projectiles. By having this simple game plan, Xavier gets to keep things on their terms, and avoids getting put in unfamiliar situations that he hasn't thought about before. And if you want to know how Xavier got so good at controlling the soccer ball, the secret is that they just like to hit it whenever they can. Wii Fit has weird moves, but all that means is that there's a million different ways for you to launch the soccer ball back at your opponent. You can either press the B button a second time to have it drop in front of you, or you can hit it again after smacking your opponent with it, and as long as it's moving, it has a hitbox, which can lead to some nasty setups. But now it was time for me to put all that training into action, as I was entering my local. 53 people had entered the tournament, and I was the 27th seed of the bracket. Let's see if my Wii Fit Trainer can outplace that. My round 1 opponent was Bread, a Zelda main. Zelda can be an awkward matchup for Wii Fit Trainer, since she has a lot of ways to keep Wii Fit at bay. Phantom is great at preventing approaches, and Nehru's Lev shuts down most of the projectile camping. However, with Deep Breathing active, Wii Fit can outmaneuver Zelda and get some big damage in, which is what I was able to do to Bread during our set, winning it 2-0. My next opponent was then Meeks, who plays Samus. Samus can camp Wii Fit back with their own charge shot, and hits really hard in close quarters as well. Meeks got the lead early on in the set, and I kept trying to preemptively read what he was doing, which led to me getting hit in spots that I wouldn't have otherwise if I was more patient. A failed air dodge to ledge gave Meeks game 1, but in game 2, I have the lead going into the final stop. But Meeks gets the first kill spark of the game, which causes me to panic, giving him another chance to line up the set-winning dash attack. However, losing one set doesn't mean you're out. Smash tournaments use a double elimination rule set, which gives everyone a second chance in the loser's bracket. Here, I was paired up against Twink, who plays Pit. Pit is a very well-rounded character, with disjointed moves and a reflector, both of which are very good against Wii Fit. The first 2 games go back and forth, but in the third game, an early SD from Twink gives me the momentum to 3-stock him. Matt the W was my next opponent, and he played Lucas. Lucas can both reflect and absorb my projectiles, meaning I need to get up close and personal with him. But with Deep Breathing, that's exactly where I want to be, and I also managed to 3-stock him in one of our games. When Wii Fit has the momentum, you can go the distance with them. I was now 1 set win away from making top 16, but the opponent standing in my way was Makar, a Young Link main. Young Link has even more tools to camp than we do, and their frame data in close quarters is frankly stupid. But Deep Breathing is also stupid. However, even though I killed him at 50, my unfamiliarity with Wii Fit made it so I missed some very important punishes, and Makar was able to win the set 2-0, knocking me out at 17th place.
Final results.
Wii Fit Trainer was never going to be a normal Smash character, and I think it's better for the game that they're a little weird. With such a unique idea to draw inspiration from, I think that Wii Fit in Smash Ultimate is a successfully designed character. Not in Smash 4 though, that character is just bad. Despite having such a wacky moveset, it works to create a character who's flexible enough to fit your playstyle, no matter what that may be. Just like finding a workout routine that works for you, Wii Fit works best when they conform to your playstyle. Whether you want to play aggressive or passive, Wii Fit has the tools for basically any situation, and the ability to switch between playstyles at a moment's notice is one of the greatest strengths of the character. For me personally, I found out that one of my favorite moves was Sun Salutation. I was constantly charging the move and jumping around, which created layers of a game plan all by itself. Universal techniques such as B-reversing were also very important to how I played the character. The hardest part about playing Wii Fit was just learning how those bizarre yoga poses translated to Smash. A lot of things about the character are unintuitive to someone who is used to other fighters, but once you get over that hurdle, basically anything is possible with Wii Fit Trainer, and I really enjoyed the flexibility she provided. But I'm not done with my character crisis, and if you'd like to have more input on who I main next, please consider checking out my Patreon linked below. And this time, the patrons have chosen a character that is very near and dear to my heart. Many would argue that he is Mr. Smash Bros himself. it's about time I show you my moves, as I'm set to play Captain Falcon, not just in Smash Ultimate, but in every single Smash Bros. Game. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on Tuesday. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons for making this possible, with a special shout out to Ruby Roo, Scuba Doo, and Wordy Wordy for your continued support.